Hi, and welcome to TWSB. I am Scott Hugh, and I am about to do something completely insane. Basically, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to build a complete SaaS business, not the traditional way. I'm going to document every step of this journey, and I am going to do it purely writing it using, AI tools like Replit. Just to give you a short hint here, I'm going to use Claude Code or just Claude to get up to speed with the planning. I'm going to use Replit to build it. And then I'm going to see how far we can actually push this modern way of code building. Just to backtrack a little bit, I've been like 30 years in tech. I've started out as building, well, actually, I started out when I was really, really young in developing. And then I built PCs, went back to developing, and did some systems administration, etc., and so forth. Run multiple companies, and right now I am in tech sales. So I've seen the evolution going from where we typed in 20 to 25,000 lines of code and saved it to a tape on an arm strut in that was a bit, well, basically that was probably in the 80s at some point, and to what we have today, where we have full scale clouds and hybrid clouds and private clouds and public clouds, and all of them multi clouds. So I think that we are at a point where, should we say, business logic and the ideas that we can actually get, they matter much more than hard coding or hand coding, and even the coding skills or development skills that we have ourselves. I believe that as a developer, or ex-developer, or call it whatever you want to, I believe that I have an edge over those who only have the ideas, because I do, to a certain extent, know what we need to put into, say, the structure and everything. And I'm trying to go back a little bit up and say, okay, how much can the system actually do for me? I'm not going to go deeply into commenting that part, but I am going to take all the, say, the fluff and the guru-ness, and I'm going to trying to take that out of this and just keep it real and have you see the constraints that I actually encounter. So, and when I say constraint, for example, just let me dig a little bit deeper into that, because if we take, for example, Replit, in the beginning of Replit, and I have to say again, I'm not affiliated with Replit nor Claude nor ChatGPT or OBS or whatever. But just in the beginning, when I started out with Replit, I could do a lot of stuff. I could probably do a month's work in a day if I wanted to. And as I increased the complexity of the prompts that I served, say, Replit, I could see the difference in how much I could actually stack and how complex that I could actually make it. And in the beginning, that wasn't that impressive, but it has really changed now, and they have done some changes in the way that they actually do the construction and do the coding. And they have like this core agent which can talk to other agents, like an architect agent. We'll probably see that at some point here. And then if we compare a little bit like Claude and ChatGPT, then even with the new version of ChatGPT, we'll still see that we can't kind of stack as many or as much context. Sorry about that. Or as many like questions, or we can't give it like an entire script about what we think, because it will not be able to kind of process that and keep the red thread all the way through, and I would say that Claude there is miles ahead, and using it for research as well is really, really a great tool. But with that said, this is day 0, and right now I have my phone there. That's a camera, and I have my, let me see, my phone there and my computer there, and you can't see that, but over here I have my tablet, and I have a scratch disk on this side, and a chair right here as well. And then, of course, my cup of coffee. So anyways, that's my setup. I haven't, well, yeah, my AirPods as well. I've tried to just keep it as real as I can. I have my phone on a gimbal, so it doesn't like vibrate every time that I shake the table here. But enough about that. Well, I have the OBS, which is like a recording studio where I record all 3 things. And today it's gonna be like, yeah, I think I'm not sure that we will actually get to a point where I start using Replit. I am trying to do it, but I'm not 100% sure that I can actually reach a point where I think that it would be wise to do so. So I might leave you cliffhanging a little bit, just a little bit, because I mean, that is the part where it gets really interesting as well. I won't promise it. Maybe I will just let you have a sneak peek. And if I actually leave it coding some stuff, I will also comment that at the same time. And then I will probably stop after one of the first prompts. Let's see how fast it's going. This will more be like a podcast or just like a discussion about the planning process, because there is a lot of planning that goes into say, okay, I want to build an entire SaaS business. What do we actually need? That takes time, and it takes a lot more time than you think. So really, to keep this real, I really want to try to keep it as simple as well as possible. But let's go ahead with the idea. Let me just switch to this one. As you can see, I have my Claude up, and in the background, I have my my Replit up. Replit is, the kind of the system or the platform that I'm gonna use here. And if we take a look at Claude here, I have just opened a new chat under Hugh, which is a project. And back here, you can see Club OS. I'm going to explain in a while what that actually is. Well, in a moment. So I'm going to just prompt Claude here. I'm going to tell it about the project that I want to build. And I'm going to give it most of the context just to see where it is heading. So I'm not going to give it everything. I'm going to try to leave some of the decision process to Claude to see if it agrees. For example, Club OS in this case is it's a system that I want to build for clubs and associations where they can go in and add their members and manage teams, maybe some communication back and forth. Not in the MVP, not in the first most minimum viable product, but at least in the beginning, just to see, okay, how fast can we get up to speed with the system? So it's going to be payment integration. It's going to be multi-tenancy. It's going to be It's going to be invoicing, you know, all of these kinds of things. And we're going to build it like this is where it's actually going to be super interesting, because I'm going to see if it can actually handle like a dual approach towards this Club OS. I want to have Club OS as a product that we use for, say, well, where we harness the boilerplate SaaS platform that we're going to build first. So that's basically the way that I wanted, or the approach that I wanted to take. So let's see if that is something that it actually asks me about itself, or if I have to gently nudge it towards what I am thinking that I want to do, and see if that's even a great idea. So the boilerplate is going to be the SaaS boilerplate, where it has the multi-tenancy, it has subscription, it has, of course, product management of the different. Well, we add up. We have the say the project, then we have the boilerplate, and whenever somebody wants to use, for example, the SaaS platform, they will pay a subscription and add, for example, ClubOS or whatever SaaS product that they actually want to build in, or build on top of this boilerplate. So that's kind of the mindset that I have right now. So let's see where we're going. And ClubOS, as I said, that's clubs and associations. So they will also have packages that they can use, for example, for, say, we have a freemium tier up to 25 members, or we have another one which is up to, say, 50 members, etc. You know, that kind of stuff. So that's the SaaS product and the boilerplate on its side. So let's just go ahead and see what we can do. First of all, we're going to do some ping pong between Replit and Claude. But first of all, we are really going to do some context, thought process, mindset with Claude before we actually involve Replit. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and describe the project for Claude. And I really want to see that I'm doing this real live. I'm not going to copy and paste a piece of text from my tablet or anything. I'm going to write every single thing myself and involve you in the process as we go. So here we go. Okay, so hi Claude. I want to build a complete SaaS business. And I have this project called Club OS in mind. Club OS, we can just give it a short name, say COS. Is a system that I want to provide for, say, for clubs and associations, where they can handle or manage, let's call it manage, their members, payments, teams, comms, the whole lot. And here I'm leaving like a little bit of headroom for it to actually think about what it would propose for such a system. I'm not talking about specific, say, technologies. I'm not talking about the tech stack here. I would assume that it probably chooses something like Next or React or Stripe, all those kinds of stuff. Maybe some Prism, maybe some Prometheus, Grafana, Tailwind CSS, that kind of stuff to build this part of the system. Okay. However, I was thinking. thinking about building a SaaS boilerplate. Let's call that a BP boilerplate first, and then on top of that, build the COS. I want to tell it why I want to do this, because then it can take measurements towards the structure, the architecture, and everything. So first of all, on top of Bill, I want to be able to sell or provide. I'm not gonna write by subscription. I would actually believe that it defaults to that. One-time fee is never a good idea, because one-time fee is like you get one payment. Well, maybe you can do it hybrid, but one-time fee is like, okay, we pay for it once and then they never pay for it again. And that's not a good way to go, unless that we say, okay, one-time fee per minor or per major version or something like that. But that's kind of the business idea in this, and we have to kind of think about the future as well. So I don't think that it's a good idea. For example, there are plugins that sells for, say, for €6 or €20 a month, and that is actually much better than providing it at €500 or €600 for a lifetime license, because you will have the revenue that comes in all the time. Otherwise, you have a bunch of money that comes in once, maybe, but you don't have that kind of continuous development. And feel free to challenge that. I'm actually all ears. Also, if you have any ideas towards what we could actually build into this boilerplate or into COS, for example, let me know. Just put it down in the comments down below, and also just give me your point of view if you want something different or something more deep diving into some kind of project or solution or something that we could build upon on top of this boilerplate as well. Just come bring it in and we'll do it. So anyways, here I want to be able to provide, say, the BP later on, or maybe even from the beginning, not later on, the BP separately. That way it knows that I want to build something on top of the other one. And we, of course, need full multi-tenancy, and the whole, I'm going to say the whole lot here again. I want to start out with, say, an MVP on both BP and COS. I don't know how much I should direct it here, but I don't want to make all the decisions up front. But let's see where it's headed around here. Maybe I will go a little bit further and say, no, actually, just let's stop here and say, what do you think? Oh yeah, one thing. I have to give it some context about the developing that I want to, or how I want to develop it, because otherwise it will probably believe that I will use Claude Code, which is perfectly fine and fair. But I want it to know that I wanted to create a prompt in the end for Replit. So let's bring that in here as well. I want to use Replit for the development of this SaaS business. I will use my own environment For deploying, that can be LXC or Linux containers. It could be just plain VMs, just that we can scale it. We have to think long term about scalability. Multi VM / containers. So the end result of our chat at some point will be a prompt that I can use for Replit to start the development. Okay, now I think I've actually given it enough enough information. So let's just hit enter and see what it actually thinks. Okay, cool. Let's see where it goes. Okay, solid, well-structured approach. Let's break down why this makes sense. This approach works because separation of concerns, building the boilerplate first creates a strong foundation, of course. Battle-tested multi-tenancy, auth, billing, and core SaaS features before adding the club-specific logic. Cool. 2 revenue streams, so it's already thinking about monetizing. So there you go, one time or license. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the one time, but I kind of had the idea that it would come up with that. And recurring SaaS, which diversifies your income. Forced best practice, building for reusability means you'll architect things probably from day one, proper abstraction, clean interfaces, probably some API at the end as well. And Postgres, yeah, cool. I like that with RLS. Backend, Node Express, it's fine. Python Fast API. And then we have React and Next. I think it will probably be the first here. Docker Kubernetes, like Railroad, Render, and FlyIO initially. And then we have the multi-tenancy. You see, this is actually a good question. Here, I would say let's go like well, maybe a hybrid approach for bigger companies or bigger customers. It would be a database per tenant. It's a little bit more complex because we have multiple databases that we need to update if we update a version. So I would actually prefer not to go that road and say, okay, let's do say one database for everyone, and then have multiple read with Postgres, for example, have multiple read databases as we scale bigger and bigger. Okay, but let's just keep it there for now. The MVP scope for BP, the authentication and authorization with RBAC, is also role-based access. Multi-tenant data isolation, the subscription payment handling, Stripe and Paddle, and basic admin dashboard, the API structure with tenant context. This is important because we need to be able to interact with that at a later point. Email system, user management, and for COS. Basic payment tracking, do fees. I think here we also need them to be able to pay. This is not that important actually, but let's try to scope that with Claude a little bit later on here. Replit consideration, fast iteration, built-in collaboration, easy prototyping. See, you need proper environment variable management for secrets. We can do that. Database should be external, not Replit built-in DB for production parity. Yeah. Consider how you handle migration from Replit to your production environment. Actually, here we could just do GitHub and then clone GitHub and then down. So let's see how we can handle that. Before I help you craft the Replit prompt, a few quick questions. Okay, so let's just take this one. There are a few things that we actually need to think of here. So let's just continue here. Say tech stack. No pref. But for simplicity, I think we should probably go Node.js, right? Let's just state that as a question. Cold coffee, I love it. Not. And here, that was inconsistent auth approach. Why shouldn't we just do like, we shouldn't build it ourselves. I think that we should just do as much bootstrap as much as we can here. Payment. Let's go Stripe here, and then have own invoicing. I don't, invoicing. I don't want to use Stripe as processor. Yeah, Stripe for processing, probably. Payment processing, and then have our own invoicing engine. There we go. Deployment targets, own environment. I should actually just go like that. Yeah, see, no fluff, no guru nonsense. Say own environment, multi VMs or LXC. It will know what that is. And then down here, I think that as we build US on top of BP, and we should be able to sell BP as a separate project. And framework, like the framework mindset, would probably be the way to go. What do you think? Something that I also have to think about here is, for example, the payment processing. When we go, for example, in a multi-tenancy system and build, say, several SaaS modules or SaaS products on top of the boilerplate, we have to think about that. We want each product to be able to integrate its own payment processor, maybe even its own authentication process. So it could be like SSO, for example. I want to make it aware of that is something that I'm thinking about. We have to think about this being multi-tenancy, that auth and payment should be configurable at, say, SaaS product level as well, not only at BP level, because we do not want our customers' payments to reach our accounts, and then have to transfer the money back to them. Invoicing, that would create a big tax mess. So let's just try to see where it actually goes from here. I really love the idea that it already came with. Let's say comms is not important for MVP, for the cost MVP. And as you can see here, I'm just throwing things in as they kind of come to mind. So let's just go ahead, a hybrid approach for the databases, maybe. So bigger or big customers have own DB, while smaller customers share DB. Or what were you thinking? Thinking when you mentioned, say, separate schemas. A schema is basically it's a structure of a DB, but a logical one. Whereas we can also say that a database is the structure of a database is logical, but this will give the possibility to partitionate, say that, or partition the different output from same tables, I guess. When I think about it, let's see what it actually says here. So schema per tenant, it's a good middle ground probably. They probably like so big customers, tenants, just to have that reference. Yeah, okay, and then we also deployment from Replit will be Replit to GitHub, and then clone from GitHub to VM or container. We do have to think about installation, those scripts for initial setup of the BP and COS. We'll probably do that with npm or a Docker YAML file as well. And I was thinking about here as well, and for upgrading, upgrading, wow, there we go, upgrading database, say structure tables, schemas, and that kind of stuff. I actually think that we're pretty good here. I love the idea about the Postgres, and the React Next would probably be good, and Node Express. Let's just hit enter and run and see where we are ending up here. As you can see, I've built like a lot of information here. Excellent thinking. It has to be positive. You're spot on about several key architectural decisions. Let me address your points. Node.js makes sense for simplicity. Yeah. Same language, front end and back end. So JavaScript and TypeScript. Huge ecosystem for SaaS features, easy deployment, great for real-time features if you need later. Yeah, that was basically what we had in point. You said framework would probably be the best way to go. I want to make sure that we are aligned, and this is actually where it kind of not challenges, but where we get into the conversation about what or how are we actually going to structure this, or the architecture of this. So COS imports BP as an NPM package. That's actually what I wanted to. BP provides core primitives, auth, tenancy, billing modules, and this one extends. This one requires careful versioning. I would actually go with no. If we go monorepo, we can sell the BP, the boilerplate, as its own. Maybe we can. will BP application. I want to ask it about this because I don't think that this would actually be the best way to go. I think that the option A would be best, but that's kind of my thought. So let's just see where it's going, what kind of rabbit hole it goes down here. Let me just do this one. My idea here was that if I want to be able to sell the BP separately from COS, that would build on top of the BP. So importing BP via NPM for the costs. Okay. That way we can upgrade the BP, and then with COS built on top, it could upgrade the core BP via NPM. I am not sure. I want to give it the benefit of the doubt that a monorepo could be a good idea. I don't think that it would, but again, it depends, because then I wouldn't be able to kind of sell off the BP as a standalone product. If framework or monorepo, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it should be framework monorepo, because if I, for example, go monorepo, it would be more difficult to sell the BP as a separate product without also including the COS and subsequent. I want to let it know that we are building subsequent SaaS products based on the BP. Let's take that from there. So we actually answered that. Well, it's tenants and payment architecture. You're absolutely right about the tax mess. Here's the architecture. BP cost platform, master level stripe count for BP licenses, no tenant payment processing. Good. So tenant, a golf club, own stripe, connect account. Yeah, chess club, own stripe, exactly. Implementation, BP level contains stripe integration code, but no processing. Tenant config table stores each tenant stripe API keys, encrypted, of course. Runtime, yes. Cool. That's the way we want it. So that's actually good. You nailed it with the hybrid approach. Here's my recommendation: schema per tenant. A schema per tenant golf club, chess club, shared pool, row-level isolation, and master tenant register billing for all of them. That's actually pretty okay. That's a decent logic in my kind of my world. So let's just go with that. So let's say, great, let's do it. Let's do that. Okay with me. Fine. I'm just letting it know that that's actually a good way to do it. Can even move to separate DB later. Okay, so that's actually good. Install a migration, critical for sell with BP. Here's the structure. Create database, etc. Of course, initial seed, master admin account, main installer. Yeah, I also want something else, but I'm just migration system like Rails, Laravel. Yeah, that's basic. So that's cool. Auto operator. Yeah. And deployment, developer, Replit, dev test, commit to GitHub, GitHub Actions, CI/CD, build Docker image, push to registry, VM, LXC, and container one, the load balancer, reverse processing. I'm probably going to get or need a little bit of help doing this part, but let's just discuss that with Claude at a later point. And MVP scope refinement, multi-tenancy, yeah. So sign up creates new tenants, tenant specific Stripe config, subscription management UI for tenants, skip SSO, advanced permissions, white labeling. Yeah, we'll do that later on. I agree on that one. Member directory and profiles, payment tracking to fees using tenants, Stripe. Let's dig into this a little bit. We don't need the event calendar right now either. So let's just skip down here and say, okay, yes, and then we have to be able to send out reminder invoices and remind us invoices or charges and reminders, and ensure that people can also pay by bank transfer. That's important. So manually adding a payment so they will not get reminders if they have already paid. Okay, there we go. Not needed to be in the MVP. Really, we don't need that. Okay. Okay. See, monorepo approach. No, I don't think that we should go monorepo, but that's just we kind of doing a little bit of pushback on that one because I don't think it's the best way to do it. But let's see. Yeah. Okay. Postgres SQL self-host. That's fine. And we also need to think about, here we go, security. That has to be built into the fibers of this project. And also AI. We need to build in AI as well. Let's define that at a later point. Maybe not in the, not MVP though, but but have it in mind. Oh, and maybe we should think about Redis as well. What do you think? Redis is like a caching engine, and there are some things in there that we should actually try to. You see, yeah, I told you. I want to sell it separately, which changes everything. Here's my recommendation. So hybrid approach, so published framework and separate repos. Yeah, no repos. So we have the boilerplate here, and then we have the Club OS, which is a sellable product as well afterwards. So let's do that. I actually like this one. And future SaaS product, we do exactly the same. How it works, we have the dependencies, the PP core, auth, billing, tenancy, etc. So we just build those modules and keep them up to date, maintain them, and that way we can actually integrate that. So the sales model, sell as NPM packages plus docs plus demo app, GitHub repo access or NPM license. I think that we should actually, in this part, I want to, regarding this, I would like to know your position on the licensing, because I want a storefront, if you want, for the BP and also for the QS and future, see the future SaaS SPs, SaaS products. Procuts, product price tag. There we go. So maybe we should actually build in some of that into the core of the BP. Or let's see how or what it actually comes up with. Clean separation, easy upgrades via NPM, sell BP as GitHub access or private registry. Let's see how it actually responds to this one. Base proprietary, other same BP. Breaking changes, use semantic versioning strictly. Yeah. And then we do the migration scripts, etc. Breaking changes, then the BP, if the BP has breaking changes, then the SaaS products that uses or are built on top of the BP actually needs to do some changes to be able to upgrade before they do it. So it's kind of not before they do it. So they will have to clone their own project, and then they will upgrade the boilerplate, and then they will make the changes in their system to actually be able to run it on the new system. Okay. Security built into the fibers. Okay, fibers with ERs. You're right, security must be foundational, not bolted on. Here's the security architecture. No tenant context. Yeah, I have nothing to say to that. And the RLS is actually really important. So that's basic. And here, yeah, data encryption, of course, encryption, at rest encryption, transit, etc. Member schema, input validation and sanitation, the API, rate limiting and DDoS protection, important as well. Audit logging, oh yes, I love that. We need audit logging every time that something happens, that it just needs to be logged. Secrets management, yeah. And Redis use cases. Redis, yes, absolutely. So it's really important as well, because if it's a lot of the same, say, queries that goes through, then it will be able to pick that up really easy. And that's pretty cool. And we have, of course, the SSL and everything built in. Job queues. So invoicing will come out at specific intervals. Something that I was actually thinking about here is that we also have to think about customers wanting to connect their own domains at some point. So we need to make room for that. Keep that in mind. That in mind. Okay. So distributed logs, build hooks now, implement later. That's also a good idea, so that we actually get member insights. We can use, maybe we can use, maybe we can also use like Prometheus and Grafana, or that's the way it's spelled, right? Yeah, I think it is. But let's find out in a moment. For monitoring systems, and also business metrics. Right? Okay. So data privacy for for AI. Oh, that's so important. I actually really like that because the privacy, if you just give it access to the entire bucket of data, then basically if you have a loophole, a customer can actually gain access to other customers' information, and we don't want that. So let's keep it pretended AI context. That's actually pretty cool. Option to opt out of AI features, maybe not. No cross-tenant learning. Yeah, well, we want that, but only for admins. We definitely want that, but only at super admin level. Let's just put that in there. Refine payment modules since you need invoicing reminders and manual payment tracking. Auto-generate monthly dues. One-time fees, send via email, PDF attachments, I love that. Payment recording, Stripe webhook, of course, manual entry, reconciliation, reminder schedules, 7 days. Reminders should probably be, let me see, this should probably be configurable. We could just the admin dashboard. Let me see. Reminders, payment portal, view invoices, upload proof of bank transfer. Yeah, well, that's fine. Schema, it will just come back with the invoices and the payments and the reminders and everything. So that's actually good. Celebrate framework. So it comes back to the architecture. This is really cool. So everything that we have already talked about, the admin UI components, the framework, the API framework, the security middleware, install and migration, and then the npm and npm install. Pretty darn cool as well. Tech stack, React, exactly as we talked about in the beginning. And this one, and Redis, and Docker. JWT, token-based, blacklisting, Redis, Postgres, row-level security again, encrypted sensitive fields, rate limiting patented IP, auto logging, and final questions, TypeScript or JavaScript? Let's just do TypeScript. Let's just pull these four. And we are giving it a lot of context here. TS, yes, please. Reactor next. We talked about Next in the beginning, so let's just keep it with Next.js. Email service. Could we deploy, say, like, let's say, PMG? It's like Proxmox mail gateway. I don't actually know. PDF kit probably. I'll let you choose here. So no pref. Okay, we're done. Let's see what it says now. This is actually a really good session because we have a lot of like kind of thinking towards the complete product. We don't need to build everything at once. So, but I can feel that I can sense that it's almost there, and it's keeping an amazing red thread all throughout this conversation. So I really enjoy that. Perfect. These are excellent additions. Let me address each point. Here's the architecture license server, your infrastructure managed BP licenses and cost subscriptions. I think that we should just have it in-house. So that's actually pretty cool. License validation, feature flags based on license, use reporting, phone home, blah blah, all that. It's pretty cool. That is actually what we want. So I'm happy that it actually did that. We're probably going to do this a little bit more. Say let's pull out this one and say we should probably be able to define. I'm not sure if we should actually be able to define packages as such. Yeah, I think we should. In the dashboard at some point at least. So that part when we go down that road needs to be comprehensive enough to support that. Okay, the BP license is actually pretty cool. License validation, startup check, and we should probably look for report usage as feature. Should there be some sort of grace period if the server, the licensing server, licensing server does not respond. Maybe that would be good. Storefront architecture. Next, store your domain. Cool. Boilerplate. One time. Yeah, maybe not the one time. Maybe I am not sure about the one-time fee because continuous development will be difficult to support. Or do you have a more, say, extended view on this? Let's just ask it what it thinks about that. And then the Club OS, again, Club COS packages should be, say, configurable, as we are not 100% sure that those, say, I don't know what you call that. Those metrics, no, those boundaries are fit for that, or for all types of clubs and associations. So we need to find maybe a sweet spot at a later point, and we'll need to change those limitations. We could also think about integrating more parameters like number of teams per package, etc. So package 1 would be 1 team, and 2 could be maybe 3 or 5, so that we have different parameters that hits different needs. Different needs for each club, and have them operate. Just need to be mindful about that as well. We need to be able to think about the future, say, business in this as well. So those are some of the things that we can discuss afterwards as well with Claude. We don't have to put all of that into the system right now. I think that was actually good. Should licensing? Yes, absolutely. Here's what we should, what should be in. So we do a licensing engine here. And let me see if it actually did do the. Anyone who buys BP gets licensing built in for their own SaaS product. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Load balancer, golf, chess, US, next, cool. Implementation, custom domain, that's actually pretty cool. So yeah, for custom domain, as you can see, there are so many things that we need to actually think about, and building this entire business solution with Claude is actually a bliss. Just saw the cold coffee. It's actually just it's a bliss here. So because it really keeps track of everything. But for custom domain, we should probably have some sort or some way of verifying the domain. Maybe via DNS look up or text, so txt, HTML file on the domain, just to ensure that it's theirs. Nginx, and caddy configuration, the SSL, or use caddy. Yeah, we could do that as well, but for now, I think we should just go with like let's encrypt SSL. Let's encrypt for now. Can always switch later on. Excellent choice. Yeah. Honor. Is there anything we should add to the Prometheus and Grafana stack? Metrics to track, counter gauge, histogram, register, active connections, member, blah, 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 monthly revenue, exactly the business overview, Grafana dashboard, CPU, memory, disk usage. Yeah, those are really important. Okay, I think that all this is pretty cool. The alerting as well. We'll set that up. Super admin cross-tenant analytics for aggregated AI learning and business intelligence for sure. Okay, we can skip over that. Configurable reminder schedule. Reminder schedule. Built into the dashboard. Reminder settings. Reminder schedule item. Yeah. Invoicing. No, I want to take that. Do that at a well. As for reminders, we should probably also be able to do some configuration for the invoices. Let's just go with that. I think that we assume their email post as PMG. It wasn't kind of PMG, that was like PMG. But okay, that could go as well. As for PMG, I was actually thinking about Proxmox mail gateway. But if we can build it into our BP, then let's look at the options, not necessarily postal. Hit me with its ideas. Integration, note mailer, that's just PDF generation. Okay, so React PDF it is. React PDF it is. Cool. And the last part, I think we're already, yeah. The final tech stack summary. I think that's pretty cool. We have like an overview of all that right now. It already said, let's encrypt. Maybe I didn't understand the caddy thing, but let's take that at a later point. So let's just do this and see what it responds. As you can see, we can really put a lot of information into it. Hard coding licensing type is too rigid. Here's a flexible system. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was actually what I said. So that's cool. Admin UEFI license management, license server grace period, critical reliability. Say the licensing server is down for some time, then we should allow some kind of some type of grace period. Make that available in the backend as well. Graded mode optional. Okay. BP pricing model reconsider absolutely right. One-time fees doesn't support continuous development. I'm happy that it actually agreed on that one. Yeah, that's maybe a hybrid one where they can do something there. Let's see that at a later point. BP tiers should also be configurable in the admin interface for the, yeah, we don't want everything to just okay, benefits of this model: predictable, recurring, continuous development, funded, etc., etc. Cost package configuration. Yeah, exactly. We can always add more parameters here. Of course, this shouldn't be a constant. Like, let me just try to see if I can hit it right. Should of course not be fixed in the code, but something that an admin can actually configure in their dashboard. Don't want that to be so rigid. Okay. Check limit. Okay, the admin dashboard for plan management. Basically what we talked a little bit about. Custom domain verification. Okay, cool. DNS HTML file meta tag. Yeah, cool. Verify domain. That's also cool. SSL, let's encrypt. Yes, perfect. Caddy, it's automatic. Nice. So the dynamic domain edition, Prometheus, Grafana plus additions. Let's see if it actually has anything interesting. No, I think that's actually pretty good as it is. Yeah, the back box. Yeah, okay. Invoice configuration, make invoice templates and settings configurable. Coolio. Oh, yeah, continue. I actually had it, I needed to continue. So, okay, cool. Then compare options for self-hosted email, postal open source. Rails different stack from Node, heavier resource, open source, complete mail server. I don't think that we should, option C. Option D, built into BP custom solution. More do it yourself. We could build it in. Let's see what option E, my recommendation, use external SMTP relay, build tracking into BP. Okay. Flexibility tendon, build, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Sure. Let's go option E on this one. Let's do that. Maybe with Mox mail gateway. If that is easy to set up. Let's just do that for fun's sake. Great. And we built and add build it into the email npm. Let's see. Okay, cool. Summary of decisions. It has made a lot of interesting notes here. So let's just go with that. Additional considerations before creating prompt. Okay, let's just grab this. All this. It actually just came back with 10 questions. So let's answer those. And I think that we are basically good to go. Environment should prompt include instruction for local dev set or Docker Compose. I don't know if Replit can handle that. Let's include instructions. I don't know if it can actually do that. Should we include unit test? I think that we should skip testing right now. Skip test for now. Build in later. And initial data. Just super admin. And documentation should be include API documentation. Yeah, good idea. Yes, please. Yes, please. Well, let's actually just do only minimal right now. We can add that later. So CI/CD running test building documents. I would actually prefer this because this will ease up the workflows. Yes, all of it, please. Feature flags, should we build a feature flag system into BP core from the start or add it later? Let's add that later as well. We don't need that right now. Audit logging. How detailed should it be? Let's keep it simple. Keep it simple from the beginning. Then we will add IP and user agent as well as CRUD and CRUD, etc. later. we could actually here maybe we can configure the velocity in the dashboard. Rate limiting should rate limit be like global per IP per tenant per user. What is your recommendation here? API versioning should we build API versioning? V1 now. That's good. English now, and more languages later. That is it. Let's hit enter and see where we go. Perfect. Okay, final clarifications. Grace period configurable. BP tiers and cost plan both configurable. Of course, confirm both will be fully configurable via the admin dashboard. PMG, primary email security gateway, spam filter virus scanner. It sits in front of your mail server and not a mail server itself. Designed for enterprise mail filtering, not transaction email sending. Okay, cool. I was not aware of that. So let's just see recommended SMTP relay default or Araka, which is self-hosted. We could probably do that. Okay. So we then do that. Okay. So right now we don't do that. So we a bit approach build. Okay, cool. Let's do that. Okay. Self-hosted option if you really want it. Use Haraka node-based. Let's just build it in. Okay. That's fine. Rate limit config. Okay, let's do that as well. That's fine. I have really no preference right now. So, okay. And it has already built everything in terms of that. So we don't need to think about that. Prometheus metrics, audit logging, etc. Final architecture. Cool. Yep. Okay. Let's go and build our Replit prompt. Oh boy. Let's see where we end with this. I think that we actually might be able to just go ahead and just fire this prompt at Replit. So let's see where we go. Okay, project area, you're building complete SaaS consisting of two main components. Okay, tech stack, Node.js 20 plus, TypeScript 5 plus, Next 14 plus, Express. Okay. These are components. It's really cool. We just add components as we need them, especially good for SaaS. Redis 7, Bull and Q for queues. This is pretty darn cool. Let's see how it actually handles all this, because there is a lot for a Replit to digest actually. Phase 1, initial setup and core, create root workspace. Oh, here it is, really. This is awesome. Let's see if we, I'm actually, we could almost just run this. Okay, this is going to be interesting. It's still building down here, as you can see. So it's already putting up all the different tables. There's a lot of information here. And it was paused because it became almost too long. So let's just copy this, create a new app, and try to paste it that one. Paste in that one. Okay. And here it goes on and goes on and goes on. Let's see how long time it takes for this to actually do its thing. I'm not even sure that, I mean, most of this is actually already building it. So just firing this in like in a terminal or on a VM to a certain extent, that would actually do most of the work. That's pretty darn cool. It's being really specific here. That I was not expecting this. Wow. This is more like building the entire SaaS platform. I think it want to guide it all the way down to the last part of it. Wow. Okay. Let me just do something real quick. Let me see. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's go and build our Replit. Let's go all the way down here and see if I can actually do. Let's see if we can get it in. We couldn't. So, okay. Well, all right. Let's just copy this as well. Paste it in here. And see if we can just. Let's just hit it. Let's see what we can do. Oh yeah, this is the typical Replit way of doing it. So first we go plan, and then we build. This is pretty darn awesome. Let's see where we go. I don't think that. I mean, normally Replit would come back and say, I have these questions for clarification. Can you help me out? Whatever. It just seems like all the information was actually in this first setup script. And that, I think, is so darn cool. But I'm not sure if I'm doing a lot of overlapping here. So let's see where this is really going. Because I could actually just say, okay, fine, let's do that. Down here it says, I've created a feature list on your request. If it looks good, we can start creating. Not yet. I can't see anything. So maybe it's not done. Let me just wait a little bit longer and see if it's still doing something. It's been 2 minutes. Let me just wait a little bit longer here. Coffee, out of coffee. Still. Hey, wonder what it's doing. It says that it will take 20 plus minutes to build the entire app. I mean, if it doesn't give me like a plan, it should do that. Things like overwhelmed. Okay, I didn't expect this. Okay, we have two approaches here. We can go ahead and say start building. That could actually be a way of doing this, which is perfectly fine. So I'm going to do that. And the other option, the other way, or the second option that I'm going to explore as well, is actually having Claude Code doing this as well. So I'm going to ask Claude at the same time if it can actually build everything using Claude Code while I do a simultaneously or parallel version here. Okay, so let's just start building here and see what it does. It's pretty darn big, so it will probably take a little while here. So start building. It's working. Let's just leave it there for a moment while I jump to Claude Code, to Claude, and ask Claude if it can actually build the entire thing for me as well. So Claude, while we are waiting for Replit, can you then build this thing for me? Entire thing. That way we can actually compare them. That's going to be cool. Let's see. I just hit enter. Absolutely. I'll build the entire SaaS boilerplate. And Club OS system for you. Let me start by creating all the files systematically. I'll use the file system tools to create the complete project structure. This will take multiple steps, so let me begin. Okay, here it is actually going into my file structure. I've given it access through the MCP, the Model Context Protocol. So it can actually store files in a specific directory that I've given it access to. That's pretty cool. Let's move it to the side here so that we can see both. So now let me create the root configuration files. And if we for example, look here, it says type text error parent directory doesn't exist. And this is, as you can see, Scott Peterson, library, mobile, documents, com, Apple Cloud, blah, blah, blah. So something is actually not working there. We have to take a look at that at a later point. But this all these has been created. So we just need to be able to go back and look at that at a later point. Meanwhile, we are looking at this one building over here. This has been like a few minutes now. It took 6 minutes ago. So that's when we first pasted in. Sorry about that. Pasted in the initial instructions from Claude. And see here, there was an error as well. Okay, so it parent directory didn't exist. Okay. Let's see if we can actually finish this, because if it makes errors in the... yeah, I was actually thinking about that. That was actually a good idea. I was so much thinking about that it would be easier if it could actually just write me a script that does everything. So I'm going to look forward to doing that. Yeah, I agree. That's a good idea. This is good. Let me take a different and more practical approach. Let me instead create a comprehensive project generator that you can download and run. Complete project structure document, a generator script that you can run locally. So it's actually creating these files now. This is cool. I'm looking forward to doing this both ways. And one is running over there, and the other one is running over here. Okay. Instead, let me. I'm doing that as well, but let's just doing this. Sure. Go ahead. And I know, I mean, we are building an entire SaaS solution here. So, but let's just hit it and see if it can actually do this without hitting like the token limit. And let me see how it goes over here with see here it's actually creating or generating all the files. So I didn't expect that Claude would kind of stop here. Maybe I should actually ask Claude Code if it doesn't actually already do that. But we can do that afterwards and see what comes out of that. And then meanwhile, we can just take a look at what's going on here. So it has created like 27 files already plus. So all the configuration files, the JSON files, the JavaScript files with the Tailwind configuration, client migrations, the tokens, middleware security isolation for the tenancy. It has done quite a lot already here, honestly. Let me just jump back in here and see what it's actually doing. So it's actually writing this this comprehensive file. So it's creating multiple files because it's so big. So it's writing the files in my file system. Okay. Okay. So continue. It's just continuing from there, and it will probably break the files. No, it will not. Okay, it just continues with the file. That's actually pretty cool. Well, let's see where we're going with this. I honestly have no idea, but just to get back at where we're going with this, we are building an entire SaaS platform and building the Club OS on top of that. And we are building not only, say, the backend, we're also building a front end. We're building, hopefully, a beautiful graphics user interface. We are integrating Grafana with Prometheus. We're doing monitoring. We are implementing several different metrics. We are implementing payment processor. We are implementing, a lot of stuff here. So there are really a lot going on, which is pretty cool. And I have asked it to build something that would potentially take months to actually build, even years. So I don't know. I hope that we're not pushing everything into one session here. To be honest, that was not my intention, at least. But let's just I'll let it keep building and let it just wait and see. Again, too long, and I will guess that I have a feeling here. I have a feeling that pretty soon Claude will come back and say, "You need to start a new prompt because this is getting too long." And that will ruin everything there. I'm not gonna be happy about that, but let's have a look at that. Maybe we can create a new prompt in Claude and ask it to look in the SaaS platform for club management and have that in mind so that it pulls all the information, and then have Claude Code look at it. But let's just wait and see how this goes. Also, because writing these files is something that it does locally. It doesn't really kind of write everything into like the memory of Claude here. And let's see how long time this has been going on. 13 minutes. From I started building 9 minutes. It's set plus 20 or 20 plus. I'm not sure that it's going to take 20 plus minutes, but it is doing a lot of different stuff over here, like doing the application API and wow. Docker configs and installation scripts. Again, so this is like the third time. Off. So yeah, third time. Third time's a charm. Isn't that how you say it? Oh, and the README file here. I think that Replit is actually already on its way to finish this. How many files has it created yet? Let me show this. 44, 45. Okay, the database. So now it's creating a database as well. Okay. This is getting really, really interesting. I actually thought that that Claude would have finished by now. But I'm also like kind of doubting that it is using its full potential in Claude, because normally Claude is using different, like say, agents as well, like a little bit like Replit is doing right now. Right now, it's just creating, and it is using the core agent. It has an architect as well that it can use for architectural things. So normally it spits out information to the architect, and that architect will then kind of say verify the changes and everything. Now see, this has begun installing the Next and React DOM and TypeScript, etc. All those kinds of things right now. It did create the Postgres SQL database. That is actually really interesting. But the architect here, okay, let's just continue. That was fourth time. The architect here is kind of verifying that all the information that you get from, well, all the agent or the information that the agent core actually submits to the architect is being kind of verified. And then if it catches an error or something like that, it will, well, we're actually seeing some of it right now. If it catches an error, then it will come back and then it will try to fix that error. For example, right now you can see here it said that the package.json file doesn't have the setup.db script defined. Let me check the package.json and add the necessary scripts. So it is actually adding that right now, and then it installed all the dependencies, and it's running it in its own kind of environment, as you can see here, and running the npm. So now it's running the database setup, compiling the TypeScript files. So it's just running through all the different things. I thought it was actually about being done. over here, but that's 13 minutes, 14 minutes ago now. And this one is just generating and generating. When this is done, I will stop this session for today, because this is like beyond. And then I will create a new video. I will not edit anything of it. I will just go straight and find out where the files are and run them and see what's going on. Because this is just too interesting. This is going to be your cliffhanger. That's for sure. Both of them are just building insanely. So this one has taken, 14 minutes. And now it's actually running the dev environment in the background and has it built the database. Let's just have a look at that. I need to see that. It has built a 30 megabyte database. I have 10 gigs, so that is awesome. Oh yeah, you see here, perfect, the server's now running. Let me check if it's working. And then it goes back and forth because there is a syntax error and it knows where to fix it itself. So now it is like beginning to look a little bit like something. I don't know what it's looking like right now, but at least it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, I was going to say. Beginning to look a lot like something, at least. It's still not there. Let it just keep working. It's restarting and doing some stuff here. And I would say the least right now. Oh no! Don't stop there. Okay, so it built like a super admin access and the password. Let me just. It's still working. Okay. Let me just take a look here and see. Okay, if we say admin panel, I don't know if it works. It does. Admin panel. Looks like hell. I don't like it, but let's just go in here. And so system health, log out. Okay. Manage tenants. Wow. Okay. Go back. Some of it actually works and some of it doesn't. So I'm afraid that doing it this way is probably not the right way of approaching it. Let's just come back to that at a later point. This is still going on over here. Make the generate.sh executable and create a final summary for me. I think it has been doing that. Final comprehensive index, final summary documents, document, help you run the generator and all that kinds of stuff. Oh, it said I spent like 50 years. Okay, that's cool. Go ahead. Actually, just go back here. No. Oh, I just thought that it ended everything there. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. It looks like it doesn't look really good, does it? Okay, let's just let me just disable that for. Can we? Okay, I'll do that afterwards. Anyway, so that was kind of it with this part. Let me just take a look. Audit logs, tenants, licenses, system settings, users, rows, etc. So this is the database, super admin access. I think that we kind of hit a dead end here. at least with this. Let me see over here. Let me create one final file, a simple getting started file. I will say that it can allow this. Say just always allow, because that's the folder or the project that I've given it access to. That should actually be okay. Access admin, click admin to manage entire system tenant dashboard. This was the admin at SaaS boilerplate.com. I'd ask me about that. Active tenants, total managed tenants actually gives me an error. And admin panel. Nope, it really doesn't work right now. But that was expected, to be honest. One final comprehensive status document. Holy cow. This is amazing. It just keeps writing and writing and writing. And I betcha when it will end, it will say that this is way too long to continue in this thread. That would be, I think that would be kind of the situation here. I'm a little bit puzzled about what we have here on the left side in Replit. I was actually expecting more, but maybe that's my bad. But well, not expecting more. One final visual summary. Christ. Oh, I'm dreading the thousands of lines that we have here, but it's gonna be fun. I think that approach that I had here, that's cool, is kind of, what should I say? I mean, maybe I shouldn't have used Claude for this kind of Claude for like building the entire prompt this way, because I think that Replit chokes on all these kinds of stuff. So that's actually really interesting. I have successfully created a complete SaaS boilerplate project generator for you. So now I only have one command to generate everything. Part 1, core, complete documentation, start here, 5-minute guide, full reference, file index, current status, and the visual summary. So here we are at it. This will create 200 files, including 7 complete packages, the database schemas, the installation scripts, complete working code, and generation time, 30 minutes. Production ready SaaS platform. I will almost stop here. I will actually stop here because this is crazy. I'm not going to fire that one right now. I will do that at a later point. But I'm so ready. I'm so ready, and I really hope that this works. Otherwise, I will actually ask it to use Claude Code to build this. Let me just. I'm gonna have a little bit of fun here. What would happen? Oops. If we asked Claude Code to build this, build this. Just curious. I'm really curious here. Let's just ask. Okay, so it would actually do a lot of these stuff. 30 seconds. I thought it said 30 minutes. Where did it say that? 5 minutes. Yeah, 30 seconds. Oh. No, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Okay. I think that this could actually be the approach that we need afterwards. This is going to be great. Let's try that at a later point, okay? Okay, guys. There is a lot to digest here, and you can probably rewind and watch this over and over again because there are so many things that we've put into this. I'm going to do 2 parallel tracks here. One with Replit. I'm going to start over with Replit, have the same conversation with Replit that I had with Claude, and try to use that engine and that planning process with Replit directly. And then I'm going to continue with both the Replit code way of doing it, and also try to use the generator that it has actually created for me here and see if it works as it should. Okay. So right now I am going to stop the video. Well, in a moment at least, and let's see where we're going. I was actually just trying to get up. Let me see. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. I think that's all for today. I am really happy that you watched till the end. Hit the subscribe button and click the bell and the subscription to the sound and everything, notifications whenever you whenever I come out with a new video here. Right now, I will just say this is pretty darn cool. And I think that we are going to have a lot of fun when we upload this video to YouTube. So I bid you good day. So talk to you soon. And TWSB out. Peace.